Hello, my name is Louis LaQuire, and I am doing my Unit 12 weather observation for the week of the 22nd of March to the 28th of March. As you can see here, there is a lot of fog and snow to the north and east side of the state, and this is due to this stationary front right here. Kind of trapping that precipitation, because you see to the south of it, it clears up under the middle of the state, and to the very south in the North Pacific there's a occluded front pushing north, which is guided by these two low pressure fronts right here. On Monday the 23rd, most of the state is covered in clouds, with only the south of the state being clear, and this is due to this high pressure system right here. In the southwest of the state, a large low pressure is pushing up warm wet air over the peninsula here in the Aleutian Islands, and this is giving us precipitation in the area of fog and snow. On Tuesday the 24th, there is a trough in the center of the state with very clear conditions, causing temperatures to be a little bit below what we would expect. The high system has moved to the east, and on the north side of that trough we are getting some fog. To the east of it is a little bit of precipitation, but more importantly to the south we again have this occluded front. It is moving northward, and it is the lone dominant low pressure system in the North Pacific. As I've been doing this, I realized that I might have gotten the wrong file after watching somebody else's video, but we're going to power through that. As this representation on the forecast is mostly accurate, instead of this one low pressure system there is another one, but as you can see, these low pressure systems are pushing air up against the southern coast of Alaska, and this is giving us lots of rain and cloud cover. And also the Aleutian Islands and the peninsula over here are also going to get a vast amount of precipitation in the way of snowfall, and they're going to have a lot of cloud cover as well. The center of the state is going to be relatively free of any clouds, and high pressure systems are not contesting this front moving up. And this right here is actually a stationary front, as opposed to just being a neutral front right here. For Thursday the 26th, we can see that low pressure systems dominate most of Alaska. That warm, moist air has been pushed up into the state, giving us vast cloud cover. Lots of rain along the coastlines, cyclone activity out here in the outer peninsula, and we can just see that low pressure is really settled over the state and is giving us lots of clouds, which is good for temperature, as we can bottle in that warmth, especially in the interior, and not give that way during the cold nights. We can see here on Friday the 27th that these low pressure systems have amassed next to the peninsula in the North Pacific. Although this occlusion front has retreated a little bit, it has left most of the coastline with precipitation in the form of rain, a little snow out here in the northern sea there. A low pressure system actually went to the northeast of us, and this creates a little bubble for this high pressure system to eke out an existence right here. But most of the state is under cloud cover. As you can see, fog on the north slope, partly cloudy maybe towards the west of the interior of the state. As we can see, this is the forecast for Saturday, but it is mostly accurate. The only thing that's not accurate about it is actually the cloud cover on the north side of the slope, which is fog. But there is that one lone low pressure system coming back up into the southern coast of the state, bringing along with it another bunch of precipitation inland in the form of rain. This collision front still staying just off of our shores, and snowfall is recorded as you move more north. As that moisture cools, it forms snow. Similar to the actual forecast, there is a narrow band of clear sky in the middle of the state, and this could probably be attributed to that air moving up against the mountains and the moisture staying on the south side of it, while the warmer air flows north, and not having as much moisture means no cloud cover. Okay, this leads to our first question. What method of forecasting was most accurate for this week? And I said due to the low pressure system hanging out to our south, but in the North Pacific, the persistence method would be more accurate for the fact that low pressure system brings with it constant humidity and warmer temperatures to the area. Okay, the next question. Can you give any reasons why some forecasts are more accurate in a certain region? And I said, yeah, in coastal regions, they're more apt to be around the same temperature, have less variation due to the fact that water is such a thermal mass. It's going to absorb all that heat and release it much more slowly, and you're going to have more average temperatures. Also, depending on population of an area or traffic, marine routes, or that sort of thing, there can be more stations that monitor weather and actually give you more consistent data. Those are the two big reasons that I see. Okay, the next question is, can I give any reasons why high pressure system would be more accurate for forecasters than a low pressure system? That is because high pressure systems bring about fair weather. They're created higher in the atmosphere, and as the air falls, it also warms and kind of clears out the area. As you can see here on Tuesday's map, the high pressure systems, they're mostly clear. You have a couple scattered clouds, but most of the clouds are in areas where they're not high pressure systems. And of course this one's over the ocean, so it's gonna have some moisture in it. Low pressure systems are created closer to the surface of the earth. Out in the ocean, they're just gathering up moisture, and it could be fairly, sketchy depending on which way they go and what type of weather they'll bring, whether they're crossing mountains or plains or just going across the ocean. Okay, next question. Focusing on Bethel, Dillingham, and Kenai, how did the passage of a cyclone influence the temperature of that region? Well, first let's take a look at Sunday. I had forgot about Sunday here. We can see those low pressures that were in the North Pacific have come back into the southern coast here, introducing precipitation in the form of rain as well as snow. Low pressure to the east, but again the cloud cover over most of the state is mostly due to this large low pressure system. We have another one coming from the west here, over here next to Russia, and some winds with some fog and snow on the north part of the state. As for what happened in Bethel, Dillingham, and Kenai, their temperatures rose 17 degrees, 7 degrees, and 7 degrees respectively, which is due to the increased cloud cover by that low front. Moving up in that area, clouds help blanket the area, keeping that heat that got absorbed during the day, don't let out during those cold nights, as well as the moisture they're bringing up is a lot warmer than the current air, and that is why we get all this precipitation anyway. As we hit that dew point heading north in the north direction, we tend to get a lot more precipitation. Anyway, it made it warmer is definitely how it affected it. Next question is, briefly discuss how the weather at Kenai might have been different on Sunday, 3:30, if the low pressure system, cyclone, had followed your student trend forecast rather than the actual path. Well, I'd like to first state by saying I was wrong. I thought it would continue. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty. I thought it would continue and settle over that area instead of retreating as it did, and that means that it actually got colder. If it would have followed what I had forecasted, then it would have been warmer because it would have had all that moist, warm air and clouds keeping that heat in the area. Okay, and the final question is, on Thursday, 3/26, record high temperatures were recorded in Fairbanks and near record high temperatures were recorded across the interior. Briefly discuss how the cloudiness and wind conditions contribute to high temperatures across the state. Briefly discuss the meteorological conditions contributed to the fact that the forecast on Tuesday, 3/26, did a better job of predicting the high temperatures on Thursday than the forecast on Saturday, the 21st. Okay, I realize I read both of those questions back to back, so I'll handle the first one and discuss about the record temperatures. The interior is usually clear or clearer than the rest of the state and quite a bit cooler. But on the 26th, we had this big low pressure system force all that moist, warm air from the North Pacific to the interior of the state, raising the temperature. And in doing so, it had to pass over a multitude of mountain ranges, different terrain, and that kind of wrung the water out, so to speak, of those clouds. And on the north side of those mountain ranges, the air that fell was drier, and since it was falling, it became warmer. And so even though the cloud cover was keeping in the heat, which rose temperatures, the actual warm air also rose temperatures and really helped contribute to those record highs. Okay, for the second part of that question, we'll look at Tuesday and why it did a better job of forecasting the weather. And really it has to do with the fact that there's a large trough here, high pressure systems in the north, with that low pressure system in the North Pacific pushing northward with this occlusion front. This is easy to see that this thing's going to push northward. A forecaster can calculate at what speed, when it would hit landfall, and really set it up so they could forecast the weather easily. Apparently Saturday, March 21st was not on the paper I downloaded, which is quite embarrassing, but luckily I can go over here and piggyback off of Mr. Croy, as he did have the correct paper, and we can talk about how this did not show what was going to happen. Mainly it is due to there being dotted low pressure and high pressure systems that are not really interacting. You can see the stationary front here along the east side of the state. This low pressure system, it's not going to bump over and compete, and we just don't know what it's going to do. So ultimately what happened is this has a less clear representation of what the weather will do. Even though this occluded front is to the south, there are multiple low pressure systems to its north. And on the other one, we could see that with the high pressure in the north and the swiftly moving low pressure in the south, we could see it just coming up and really starting to take hold of our state. Thank you.